When you first meet Steve Mann, it seems as if you've interrupted him examining diamonds or working on a tiny computer circuit board, because the first thing you notice is the plastic frame that comes around his right ear and holds a lens over his right eye. But you soon realise that there's more to this strange gadget than meets the eye. A tiny video camera is fixed to the plastic eyepiece. Wires of many different colours wrap around the back of Mann's head. Red and white lights flash under his sweater. The fact is that Mann is wearing a computer. The main part of the computer is strapped to his body and is linked wirelessly to the eyepiece, which contains a tiny screen in front of his eye. On the screen, he can read text and view images just like on a computer screen at work or at home. Mann operates the computer through a small device like a key that he holds in his hand. The computer can connect wirelessly to the internet, and Mann can view web pages on the tiny screen. He can also check his email while he's out and about, though he sets it to reject attachments that could cause the tiny computer to crash. Mann's invention comes in handy at work too. While he's giving lectures to his students at the University of Toronto, the 41-year-old engineering professor can read his notes on the little screen. Mann calls his invention a digital eye. One of Mann's students, James Fung, has also worn a digital eye, and once, while sitting around a campfire with friends, used its wireless internet connection to find a ghost story to tell. "It was a nice example of myself and the computer working together," Fung said. "You could imagine that if the eyepiece were completely concealed in a pair of glasses, people would naturally think that I was able to recall the stories myself." Mann builds the digital eyes himself with the help of his wife, Betty, who has worn the gadget too for nearly 15 years. Over time, he has managed to make it more and more compact. His first wearable system had to be carried in a heavy backpack. The next version wasn't much more comfortable, as it consisted of a helmet with TV aerials that stuck out on top like rabbit's ears. Eventually, Mann developed a system that could be hidden behind sunglasses, and he now uses the version that wraps around one side of his face. Mann has always been interested in technology. As a teenager, he wired the family home so that he could secretly listen to his parents' conversations. He and his brother, Richard, now a computer science professor at Canada's University of Waterloo, put up sensors on the stairs that would detect when a parent was coming upstairs, so that the boys could jump back into bed and close their eyes by the time their parents had opened the bedroom door. In his spare time, Mann took a part-time job in a television repair shop and became fascinated by the mini TVs that function as viewfinders and camcorders. He decided to link that technology with computing, and in the late 1970s he began experimenting with wearable computers. Mann spends hours every day viewing the world through that little monitor in front of his eye, so much so that going without the apparatus often leaves him feeling unwell, naked even. Newspapers have described him as the world's first cyborg, short for cybernetic organism. If it sounds a bit sinister, consider this. Mann became a cyborg so that he could be more human. That certainly runs contrary to the image of cyborgs as electronic monsters in sci-fi movies like Terminator. But Mann believes that in an age of increasing surveillance through CCTV cameras, wearing computers and cameras will give people more power to maintain their privacy and individuality, for they will have their own personal record of what actually happens to them and what is said to and by them. He is convinced that a cyborg future is inevitable. Eventually, he says, everyone will want to be more tightly linked with computers to enhance their memory and connections to other people.